Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James. It's August 12th already, 2010. Here's your live trade recap brought to you by SchoolOfTrade.com. Before we talk about the trades we took today, we had a pretty good day in the room today, making our way through the month of August. I want to remind you guys, we're putting out our nightly review every evening right now, guys. You want to make sure you're following our blog. If you can't follow the blog, make sure you guys join the newsletter. All right, guys. Last night we posted about 7:30, 8 o'clock Pacific. That would be almost 9, 10 o'clock Eastern time, we sent out our nightly review. And last night, we reviewed the Russell, we reviewed the gold, and we reviewed the crude. And all three of those reviews produced all three winning big trades, guys. In fact, the gold, the crude, the Russell, right? We got scalpers, day traders, swing traders. We got everybody covered, guys, on that nightly review. So make sure you guys are watching that nightly review every evening. And the easiest way to make sure you always get that is to follow the blog, and make sure you're watching our newsletter. Subscribe to the newsletter. All right, guys? Let's keep moving. Now, what's the most important thing that happened today? Well, before we talk about that, we've got 134 ticks. So 2, 4, 6 total trades, 134 ticks. That's 1420, the euro being 12.50 per tick. That brings 1420 in today. That brings us to 42.96 for the week, so almost 4,300 for the week. And we now have over 12,000 for the month. And, of course, for the year so far, 118,000 for the year of 2010. So guys, we traded the euro, we traded crude. I couldn't get my hands on gold today. Euro, crude, Russell. Let's take a look. Now the most important thing that happened today was, obviously we're still in summertime. We're still in summertime trading, which means low volume, lack of movement. I talked to a client today, just talking about how we're used to seeing, a 30 tick move, right, this spring, but now in the summertime, we're getting a 10 tick move. All right, guys, so just remember, that's going to affect our profitability. We're not going to make as much money in the month of August because we're simply not going to have as much movement in the month of August. All right, and the most important thing to do here in the month of August is to look for a little bit more confirmation, right? Look for a little bit more confirmation. And what I always tell you guys in the room is when you see things are slowing down like in the month of August like this, it's important that we look, right, for our trades, right? What's our trade? Momentum where it needs to be, right? Speed where it needs to be. Forget about what everyone else is doing and focus on what your trade is. And that's the best way to the summertime. So, of course, today we did a little bit different today. Now, we talked about this early this morning in the webinar today in the trade room. And we talked about how, after seeing yesterday's results, we're going to start locking in profit a little bit earlier. And, guys, this is pretty typical for a sideways market, right? If you're looking at a summertime, slow, sloppy market, right, we're not going to let our winners run like we did in July. In August, instead of letting our winners run, we're going to take our money and run. So we're going to tighten up those stops, lock up the profit a little bit earlier. And of course, this is all done because we know in the month of August, right, you're going to see this big jump up. And normally we'd wait to see if we can keep going. But in the month of August, though, we're seeing a big jump up and a big drop back down. So we're going to lock up that profit as soon as possible. And guys, and don't forget, guys, we're doing a bunch of hard work on our blog right now. Sidewaysmarkets.com, or go to the homepage, SchoolOfTrade.com, click on blog, and that will take you guys right to the blog. And of course, lots of great stuff on the blog right now, right? We've done a really good job at giving you guys a good prep for the day, right, the day following. So make sure you guys watch that. Now, we got today started today on the euro. The euro actually gave us some pretty good money today, right? We made some pretty good money in the euro. We had a trade here at 8:45, another one at 10 o'clock. We made close to 500 bucks today in the euro, right? So not a bad day at all. Now, here's what we saw when we opened up our charts this morning. And what you'll notice here right away is we have this double bottom right here. Right? So euro came down. Here's my wedge. Right? There's my wedge high, my wedge low. So, of course, normally we'd be trading inside this wedge. But, of course, we broke to the downside. And when we break the downside of the wedge, we know, right, two things. If we keep going down, I'm going to be a seller. If we keep going back up into the wedge, I'll be a buyer. But as you can see here, though, the euro continued to push down. It broke new lows right here. Right? We broke new lows right there. And then here we are with a double bottom. And, of course, our indicator marks it up with a yellow line. So we see that double bottom right there. Now, whenever I see that double bottom like this, I'm always thinking to myself, right, two-step. Right? Double bottom. That usually is a sign of reversal. And so I'm going to look for a long trade here. All right? So right away, the euro this morning told us when we saw that double bottom, right, just before 9 o'clock here, that told us we should probably be looking for the long side. Now, follow me here now to my 4-range chart, and this, of course, is the first trade of the morning. So of course we have, again, that double bottom here. So here we are here just before 9 o'clock, right? There's your double bottom. And you'll notice, guys, right, the double bottom here just before 9 o'clock, we also have a one tick lower low. Now, guys, if you've never heard this before, right, come into the trade room, come in as a guest, as a member, and we talk about these one tick lower lows. And what one tick lower lows actually mean is usually an exhaustion. Now, in tape reading, we call it the token print, right? And of course, it would be similar to in tape reading up top here if we had a sideways bracket, right? And now I'm gonna kind of imagine on the tape price going inside the tape here, right? If it breaks the downside here and then comes back up, what that usually tells me is we're probably now going to reverse and go out the opposite end. It's called a token print, and that means it's just one move down, right? And what it usually does is it usually shakes off the sellers and allows the buyers, right, to now take control. And so that we call that token print and tape reading. But here, of course, now on your chart, we see that one tick lower low, right? That one tick lower low. And then knowing, of course, we had just seen this big, huge drop overnight in the euro, we had all signs point along. And so all we did was we waited to get a swing high. My swing high was right there. You'll notice here, guys, we did not get a swing high as it moved up, right? There was no swing high here. So I had to wait for the swing high right here. Momentum curled as we got long, 28.05. So very important, guys. Again, we didn't see any entry here until we got above there. That's why we took it late there, 28.05. So wait for that next swing high and then take the break above that swing high. We took 2 off at 4, 2 off at 1, right? 8 plus 2 is 10 times 12 per tick. That's 125 USD. All right, guys? Now, as always, we're going to keep a close eye on the dollar, especially when we're trading the euro, right? The euro has a real strong correlation to the dollar, mainly because the euro has decent volume, right? Euro's got good volume, so of course it'll be nice and liquid. It'll move consistently with the dollar. All right, guys? So one tick lower low, double bottom. But remember, the big picture, right? The big picture, this is what gave us the green light, right? Knowing where we were in the big picture. All right, now let's go in and let's look at that level here. What was that price level here? 28.40. It looks like 28.45 here, but it's about 28.40 at the time. Okay, so 28.40 was right here when we broke above this resistance, right? So we're waiting for the trigger line. We broke above the trigger line here at 28.40. And now this, of course, after we took our two-step long, right? We bought the lows, two-step long. And now what we're going to do here is now fast forward another hour till 10 o'clock. On the euro here still, right? There's my double bottom there. Right, there's that double bottom. Now on my 13 range chart, which is similar to a 3-minute or a 5-minute chart, all right, guys, on my 13 range chart here, I see that double bottom. All right, our two-step long, of course, was right up here. And of course, two-step long was down here, right, buying those lows. We saw a breaker pattern once we broke above the swing high there. Right, there's your breaker pattern. Now, I missed the breaker pattern at 9 o'clock because I was trading crude at that time. So I missed the breaker pattern. I got in a wave pattern. Now, a wave pattern is real simple. Okay, wave pattern, real simple. We're going to find overhead resistance. I'm going to break above that resistance. I'm going to pull back, and then I'm going to meet my trigger line right there. And the entry here now, right to the long side, will be at the test. If I can find this letter here, there we go. All right, entry's right there. All right, guys, so there's my breaker right here, right? That's the breaker pattern right there, right? Breaker long, and then we'll come back down, right? Then for, of course, the wave pattern long. So that's your wave long. And of course, you can see on your chart, okay, kind of a messy chart here, but you can see here we are. We're going to come up, we pull back down, right? And there's your wave pattern long right there, right? There's your wave long. All right, guys, right there. So there's your wave long entry. We had momentum that curled up. And, of course, 28.42 is the fill. We took 2 off at 4 is 8. 8 plus 11 is 19. 19 plus 6 is 25 ticks. Times 12.50 per tick is 30, right? 312.50. All right, guys. So this entire move this morning on the euro all came from seeing that big picture move, knowing